In this video, we are going to learn about functions in Python. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. And we can pass data which is known as parameters, and along with that, a function can return the data as a result. So guys, let's start with understanding how to create a function. Yes, we create a function by making use of def keyword. So I'll create an example function like this. So here I have created a new function with the name as example function. So guys, you're free to give any name as per your requirement. And inside the function, I have added the print statement which prints, this is the output from function. Now I'll execute the code cell. As you might have observed, just by creating the function and running it, it will not provide the output from the function. Actually, we have to call the function. So to call a function, we use the function name followed by parenthesis. In our case, it will be example function which is followed by the parenthesis. Yes, after calling the function, we have the output from our function. So guys, the concept of function is very useful in programming because it will help us to create the required logic once and use the logic multiple times. As I said already, we can pass the information to function as parameter. So we define this parameter right after the function name inside the parenthesis. We can also have as many parameters as we want, but we just have to separate them with a comma. So guys, to illustrate the same as how to create the parameters with function, I'll write it like this. See, observe here, I have created a new function with the use of def keyword with a function name as display name. And this accepts a parameter called name. So after accepting the name, the function is printing the welcome message with the username. Now, the question is how to pass these parameters. Yes, we pass the parameters inside the parenthesis when we call the function. So this time, I'll call the function as display name fill. So I call the function with parameter name as fill. And guys, we have the output as hello Phil, welcome to class of deep learning. Like I said already, once we create the function, we can call it as many times as we want. So I'll call it like this. See, and we have the output just like we expected. Hello Alex, welcome to the class of deep learning, and hello Haley, welcome to class of deep learning. Like I said already, the function can accept multiple parameters and we just separate them with a comma. To illustrate this, I'll write it like this. See, this time I have created a new function with the name as name age, and this takes in two parameters, name and age. And then we print the welcome message with the name and age. So guys, let's test it out. So we have the output like we expected, that is, hello Phil, as per our data, your age is 45. So guys, the parameters that function receives is not just the single value. It can also accept the Python list as arguments. So to illustrate the same, I'll write the two functions like this, which will display the list and add the new data to the list. As you can observe here, this time I have created two functions. One which accepts the list and displays the each element in the list. And also I have made use of the for loop to do the same. And another function as list add. This accepts the two parameters, that is input list and x. And here the x is nothing but the element to be added to the list. And now inside the function, I have made use of the append method to add the item to the list. And finally, printed the new list. Now, I'll first display the data in my previous shopping list. So I'll call as display list shop list. Yes, we have the output which prints each data from list. Now what I'll do is, I'll just add a new data to the list by making use of our function. So I'll call as list add shop list, broccoli. And as we can now see in the output, the new element broccoli, which I have passed as a parameter to the function, has been added to our shop list. Okay? So now the function which I have written till now is simply printing the values and not returning anything from the function as output. Correct, right? So guys, just to illustrate as what I mean by returning the value, what I'll do is I'll call as y is equal to list add shop list, carrot. That means this time I have assigned the variable y to be equal to the value which the function output from list add. Now let's execute the code and see what happens. Yes, we can observe that the code has printed the output which we had seen before. Now, let's print the value of y. Yes, can you observe the output here? We have the output as none. Yes, we have the output as none. This is because if you observe the list add function, we are just printing the output to the screen and not returning any value from it which can be assigned to a variable. So guys, to return an output from the function, then we make use of return statement. Yes, we make use of return statement and mention the value to be written. So to illustrate the same, I'll write a simple function like this. And as you can see, this takes in two parameters as input x and y. And we are returning the value as x plus y. That is, we are adding the two values and returning it. Now, I'll call as my sum is equal to add function 5, 6. Now, let's execute this. Yes, we do not have any output from execution. Now, let's print the value of variable my sum. So, we have the output as 11. So, the value we specify in the return statement will be written by the function. So guys, in Python, we can also set the default values for the parameters, and the default parameter value will be used when the user do not provide any value as input. So I'll just modify the previous add function like this. So this time I have set the default values of parameter x and y as 5 and 2 respectively, and then we have returned by adding it. So if I now simply call as result is equal to add function and print the result, and once I execute this, yes, we have the result as 7, which is nothing but 5 plus 2. So guys, now if we want to override any default values of functions, we just pass in the values for override. So if I call as result is equal to add function 1, 2 and then I'll print the result, yes, we have the output as 3. That means the default values has been overwritten and the function has used the new values 1 and 2 for computation of result. So guys, this was all about the functions in Python. In the next video, we are going to learn about classes in Python.